Before this video starts, I want to clarify something. This video is not a call to hate on VAIL VR, because the entire purpose of this channel is to create VAIL-centric content, and I care and love the game so much. But there's a major issue we need to talk about. So let's get into it. My name is Adaxi, and I have over 400 hours clocked in on VAIL, and thousands in other competitive shooters. Recently, VAIL released on the MetaQuest store with brand new content including maps, weapons, and even a progression system. This has given the community and the developers a great outlook on the future of the game, and it's given many people hope for what the game can be. There's hundreds of new players, there's consistent lobby queue times even down to 20 seconds, which is unbelievable, and there's also a reason to grind the game now, progression. But all of this new content is overshadowed by the fact that VAIL, at its core, is built to be a competitive shooter. Why is this an issue? Well, specifically, the new progression system is the issue. The new progression system locks weapons behind a grind. Specifically weapons. Weapons are an integral part of this game's balance and VAIL's design philosophy for having quote-unquote the best feeling guns of any VR title. If your guns are so unbelievably fun and feel so good to use, why of all reasons are they locked behind a leveling system that can take a casual, regular player weeks or even months to complete? It only gets worse when you factor in that one of VAIL's key selling points is that it wants to be the pioneer of VR esports. It is objectively bad game design to lock key gameplay elements behind playtime. In competitive games, this is even more so true. There are only two major titles where this has been successful: League of Legends and Rainbow Six Siege. I'm sure there's more out there, but those are the only two major titles that come to mind immediately. These games have custom lobbies and tournament modes where all characters and items are unlocked for players, meaning casual restrictions do not affect competitive play. The only game that successfully incorporates progression into competition is the finals. There is an exception though for the finals. Players can choose what items and weapons they wish to unlock, making progression void for those who don't want to participate. Items only take 2 to 3 matches to unlock, and they're class specific. So if you only play one class or use one weapon, you don't need to unlock items that you won't use before getting your main utility. In VAIL, there are custom lobbies, but not all weapons are unlocked when you play in them. According to one of the developers, doing this would, quote, give matchmaking zero reason to exist, despite customs giving 0 XP towards progression and 0 cosmetic rewards. Customs are not rewarding for casuals to play, and matchmaking would still be the primary way to play for those players. I personally have real work experience in quality assurance, specifically for indie game developers. But the decisions and executions of content by the XLab team have recently been appalling. In order to have a successful FPS title, you need to balance your game for both casual and competitive players. This doesn't necessarily mean making 2 different games, as one of the XLab developers suggested. One of the easiest ways to have this balance is to separate casual mechanics, like specific game modes, maps, and progression, from the competitive side of your game. This can be seen in games like Counter-Strike, Dead by Daylight, and even Overwatch 2, which are all very, very different games. I've heard opinions from both casual and competitive players on many platforms, whether that be in-game, on YouTube, or in the feedback channels in VAIL's official Discord. The current progression system restricts how players can play the game, making it less fun overall and encouraging a bleak meta in a game that desperately needs variety. And not to mention the fact that competitive players have to pub stomp and ruin the new player experience in order to be prepared for their competitive matches. A lot of competitive players think that the developers at XLab are shilling to casual players, when in reality, these are just poor decisions from a development standpoint, and the developers of XLab are listening to investors instead of people who actually play their game. Sadly, my faith in this game is dwindling, but I still have hope that the developers can make some right decisions after this turning point. To any XLab developers watching this video essay, stop giving illogical reasons for systems that don't objectively make sense in VAIL. We want this game to succeed, and we want it to be the premier VR esport title that you also want it to be. But in order to make that happen, us, the community, and you, the developers, need to work together. That's all from me. Thanks for listening. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to support it. Part of making games great is making sure developers see and hear community feedback. And this is more important now than ever. If you want to see more VAIL content like pro analysis videos, gameplay challenges, and streams, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me what you want to see next. I do have some videos lined up that hopefully you guys will enjoy, and hopefully you'll stick around to see them. As always, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one.